Welcome to the only place where real, raw, and vulnerable conversations happen with IFBB bikini pros to give you an inside look at their struggles, strategies, mindset, passions, and all of life beyond the stage. This podcast is made to inspire, motivate, and remind competitors and the average gym goer that even the most extreme lifestyles and elite athletes have their ups and downs. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm your host, Celeste Rains-Turk, and now it's time for the Confessions of a Bikini Pro podcast. Hello, everyone. Today we are talking to 22-year-old Olympia qualified competitor who earned her pro card in July of 2018 and went on to place second at her pro debut and has since won 2 pro shows. Welcome to the show, Noora Mahonen. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm so happy you're here. And I know you listen to the show a lot, which is super cool for me. So I know I'm going to ask you, what is something you do right before your heel hits the stage?
Yeah. Right before I go to States, I usually just try to clear my mind and try to think about it's like now is the time that you gotta show it.
Yes, that's awesome. And so you are in Finland, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so is bodybuilding big in Finland, or do you have to travel pretty far for shows?
It's quite big in here, but we don't have the pro league here, so I will always have to travel for shows.
Oh, okay. And have you I know you like to travel, right? So do you usually plan your shows around where you want to go or places you want to see?
Yeah, that's one of the things what I think about when I go for a show. Like, Philippines was awesome, and also the one I did in Sacramento in August. So
That's
it
super
was
cool.
planned, yes.
And did you check out all the cities and stuff while you were there or do anything?
Yeah, just a little bit exploring the country. I love new cultures and just to see the world.
I've actually been to Helsinki and I loved it
Really?
there. Yes, I have. I was lucky enough to grow up in a family. My parents really value travel and they took us so many different places and that was one of them and I loved it.
Oh, that's awesome. Did you know that
Yes.
Santa Claus lives in here? Not in Helsinki, but in northern Finland.
People still what?
Do you know the Santa Claus?
Yes.
So it's in Finland.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you know what? I feel like I do remember that. I feel like I heard that maybe
Yeah.
on a tour or something.
Yeah, there's like the village where he lives.
That's so cute. Have you been there?
I've never been there.
Really?
Yeah.
You've not been
But
to the
I know
North
there's a
Pole?
lot of tourists. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I can appreciate travel too and seeing different cultures. It's pretty awesome. Even just the architect and seeing how people live or go about their day. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So you've competed in different countries. What would you say are the main differences when it comes to presentation, like suit and makeup, and then posing as well in different parts of the world?
Um, I would say, um, if I compare the shows in Europe with what it was in the US, I would say girls are a little bit more muscular in US,
Okay.
and yeah, I don't really think there's that much difference between the suit or makeup, or maybe in suit. Yeah, actually, some girls has these uh the bikini top looks almost like a bra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one thing I I actually would say is a difference. Some girls does have that kind of bikinis.
Did you have to, like, when you were an amateur, is that the kind of bikini you wore? And then when you were pro, was it the same across, like, the IFBB Pro League expectation as, like, the US look?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So how many shows did you do before you turned pro?
I did 2 pro qualifiers. Yeah, I did one in Denmark, and then I won my pro card on the second one,
And
which
that
was in July.
That was the Philippines show, right?
No, that was the Alicante.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. I meant to say Philippines is where you qualified for Olympia.
Yeah.
Okay, so in Spain, you won your pro card.
Yes, last year.
Okay, what was that like? Like, when you turned pro, did you feel like there was a new level of responsibility within the sport for you to uphold? Did anything shift within you, or do you feel like there was no change?
Yeah, I think I had to level up a little bit because all the girls they look amazing. Like, it's, I don't really know how it is even possible to pick a winner when there's a huge lineup of gorgeous girls and someone has to win the show, you know.
I know. I think about that all the time too. I'm like, I'm glad I don't have that job.
Yeah, I really had to a little bit build more muscle and just practice posing and come in with a better look, and yeah.
What kind of feedback were you getting, and what did you do to eventually earn your pro card? Like, how did you implement that feedback to build more muscle or to meet the standards they were looking for?
Usually I've got the feedback that I'm too lean. So I needed to eat more. Which was good.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
complaining.
sounds nice.
Yeah, and I did change my training a little bit. Just brought down the volume a little bit, so not that much like supersets. It was more heavy lifting.
And did you like that?
Yeah, I like that. I like lifting heavy.
Is that like, how did you even get into competing in the first place?
I used to do ice sports like ice hockey and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And so we also had to go to gym to build like more power, and so that's when I was started to think about like, okay, well, I think I enjoy going to gym a little bit more than than going to practice on the ice. So
Oh, wow.
that's when I think I made the decision that I will not want to continue anymore like playing ice hockey or anything like that. So I just went to gym and trained just for fun, and then I got some personal trainer asking me if I was interested in training for a bikini fitness, and I had no idea what this was like.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So then I started to do some research about it, and I hired my first coach. And yeah, I think I was 16 when I competed for the first time.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, and you were probably up against women much older than you.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm thinking like at 16 years old, the way that our bodies look, like muscle density wise, maturity wise, is very different than someone even 5 years older.
Yeah, when I see the old pictures, I was like, whoa. There's a huge difference.
That's pretty awesome though that you're able to look back and you're coming up on almost like 10 years, you know, like not really, but you
Yeah,
it could easily hit that by like by 26, you know, still competing, then
yeah,
it's amazing like you've been able to document this journey and go on it for all these years and also witness it evolve and evolve with it. So okay, so you got into it 16, you did your first show, and then were you just like hooked, or how long did you take off before coming back to the stage after 16?
I think I was 17 when I did my second show, so there was maybe 6 months between
Wow.
for the between the first and the second show. Yeah, so I really got into it.
That's awesome. And then you earned your pro card last year.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So I'm following the journey now. So okay, so I wanted to ask you, like, in terms of when you're getting on stage, you've mentioned that your body type is one that's usually very lean and gets fat, like flat quickly. So how have you been able to build and present that winning physique on stage?
Well, I'm really lucky that I have a really, really good coach who's been um taking care that I will bring the physique that they want to see. So we have been increasing my food. It's I have never been this high like on my prep or off season, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. And
Like food
then
wise?
yeah, food wise.
Got it.
And I also got like 2 cheat meals per week.
That's
just to
nice.
Yeah, just to increase the um that I get more like body fat, but I don't still lose the shape, just to get
Yes,
more fuller and maintain the shape that I don't get too lean anymore.
definitely. And has that been a problem for you in the past, like coming out of a show and then not like building effectively, or have you always taken like a hard building approach?
My body, it rebounded quite bad after my show. I think it was 2015, and I gained like 20 kilos in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, so after that, I've been really like when I'm starting my off season, I've been really careful that I actually take the reverse diet seriously and not mess up
Mm-hmm.
because that was really hard to lose that body
Definitely.
fat and the water. I think it was mainly water, but it it was really hard.
How long did it take you?
Almost a year, because then I also I quit my job and I went to Bali with my best friend
Nice.
for like 4 months. So we were
Wow.
basically just living our best lives there. So I didn't really I went to gym, but I didn't have a like chance to follow a strict meal plan. So I think it was maybe 1 year before I was back to my normal, I would
That's
say.
amazing. Okay, this is awesome. So, okay, so I want to backtrack a little bit to after your show in 2015, you gained 20 kilos in 2 weeks. You realized that this was from neglecting to follow your reverse diet properly.
Yeah, I think my diet back then, it was way too strict. Like it was keto based, and maybe I did eat a lot of food after the show because I feel like I was starving.
Yeah.
So that was not really a good thing at all.
Definitely not. And I like how you acknowledge that, well, one, the plan maybe wasn't the best for you, and two, now that you're taking a different approach, you're really sticking to your verse. That's paying off in the long run. I think
Yeah.
sometimes like we forget how much of an impact that can have in future preps or just future, the experience of the prep. And that's why it's so important to make sure that we are maintaining, a positive relationship with food, because that's going to then impact the way we feel about our plan, but also then trusting our coach and trusting that process, because it's just as if not more important than the actual prep itself.
Yeah, that's very true.
So,
And you will make it a lot easier for yourself when you have to start a new prep.
yes, exactly. I have definitely experienced that myself. I think sometimes it's tough as an athlete when you gain more weight than you expect, even
Mhm.
if you like stick to your plan, or sometimes people's bodies just kind of work against them, and it's unfortunate, but it
Yeah.
happens. And I think sometimes that's very hard to accept as an athlete, because we want to get to the next level, we want to keep progressing and growing.
Mhm.
And so then like we get a little impatient and we just want to be like,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be on the national stage right now, or I'm supposed to be here. I wish I would have already had my pro card, or whatever it might be. And I think we put so much pressure on ourselves that then it blows up in our
Yeah.
face, makes it even worse.
Yeah, and I think the social media is like also creating the pressure on ourselves when we see all these girls and all these things that people are posting. It creates a pressure.
Yeah, it definitely does. Do you feel that even on the pro level, like still?
Yeah, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's 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 an interesting sport, because if we let that pressure and the impatience get the best of us, then we lose the opportunity to have longevity in the sport. When we
Yeah.
overcome it, that's when we realize, oh, like if I'm already living this lifestyle day in and day out, and it's not about, let's say, getting on stage or meeting a certain deadline, then I can
Mhm.
enjoy it. And it doesn't feel like this thing I have to do in 16 weeks. It feels more just like something that's going to eventually unfold on its own with my work ethic and dedication.
Yeah, that's very true. I think it was really fantastic post that you, I think it was maybe 2 days ago, about how you have to really go for that extra mile and do the mental work and all that kind of stuff. That really matters.
Thank you. Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, when I wrote that post, it was really to get people out of the mindset of like, we're constantly being told personal development matters and mindset work matters and gratitude and blah, 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 blah. Like we're
Mhm.
told these things, but like the real growth, the real painful personal development that's required, the shining the light on the dark places that we don't want to see, like as competitors, that could be body image, that could be relationship with food, that could be communication with other people about our decisions. Like
Mhm.
those types of things are what's going to set, I really truly believe, the winners apart from the ones who end up falling off and disappearing into the unknown. Like there are think of all the competitors who maybe were crushing it, and then all of a sudden, poof, they're gone. Like we don't even hear from them or see them. And
Yeah.
it's sad to me. Like I think it's so sad when I see that happen, because I know it's preventable. Like if we really get into the mental work and like you said, and like I said, go the extra mile, like focus on that,
Mhm.
that makes a big difference. So what have you done to work on your mindset? Like what are some things that you feel have made a big difference for you over the years?
um I think it was maybe just to build more confidence and just start believing yourself. Like
Mm.
you can do it. you just
Yes.
have to you just have to see it yourself that you can do it. I don't know what happened, but for some or when it happened, but it just clicked. Like my mindset changed totally.
When was that?
I think it was this summer.
Do you think that was from like taking on that new identity of IFBB Pro?
Yeah, I think it was. And also when I had two not so good placings, I started to think like, okay, so what's wrong? And then I started to do more the mental work as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I could feel it when I went to Philippines that my mindset was totally different. It was so weird.
I totally understand that. Like my very first show compared to now, like my mindset, you would think they were two separate brains, like two separate people.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it amazing? Like we have the power to literally change our brain at any given moment in time.
Mm-hmm. It's really fascinating.
Right? And yet
say.
so many people don't do it. Like you have this untapped, like it's not even untapped, it's just ignored power. Like so many people just ignore it and be like, oh, well, I need to focus on this instead. But it's like, what if that's what's really going to make the difference? What if that's the thing that you need to take it to the next level? Like if your mindset isn't that of someone who believes in themselves, isn't that of someone who's a champion, how are you going to show up for yourself in the gym when you're running sprints and you know you can push it a little harder, but you choose to hang back and not do it because you're not focusing on your mindset every day of being the champion that you want to be?
Yeah, exactly.
I got heated a little bit. Oh man. Okay. So you're a really good example of, I'm like, oh my God, I just went on a rant. Anyway, so you are a good example of this. And like you said, you even felt different when you stepped on stage in the Philippines, and you can't exactly pinpoint it, but you know something was different, and you believe that building your confidence and believing in yourself was a big part of that. But you also chose to focus on what needed to be better. And I remember seeing that you had, like a month before you qualified for the Olympia, you had got in second call-outs at Golden State, right?
Mm-hmm.
What changed in that time period? Like what allowed you to then go on and get that qualification?
I think well, my body looked a lot different in Philippines. It was much fuller. I wasn't that lean, and I also did a posing class with Prina Martinez when I was in Arizona. Yeah, me too. She's amazing. We have the same coach.
That's awesome.
So I went to see them in Arizona, and Brina helped me with my posing. And during that 1 month, I practiced every day. Like now, when I see my old posing videos, I'm like, oh my God. Like face palm. I can't watch this.
Yes.
So yeah, I really changed my posing. My physique was a lot different, and also the work that I did mentally, it was, yeah, I think
so
that
cool.
was the difference.
So
and also I had to leave the Philippines alone. I have never gone to a show like that I don't have anyone there.
Oh my gosh, what was that like for you?
Well, I was really scared, but then I knew, like, if I can do this alone, I can do whatever. Like,
Yes.
it was such a long trip. I think it was maybe 35 hours.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I just thought that I will have to survive this and just do it.
So what was that weird to go there and show up and not have like a friend or a family member or some sort of support system with you?
Yeah, it was really weird, but it was so amazing that there was a few girls that I hadn't met before, like Alicia from Italy.
Mm-hmm.
So there was familiar faces, but yeah, I think it was good experience, I would say.
Oh, that's awesome. Would you do it again?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, wow. So before
Yeah.
that, like who would normally come with you to your shows?
Who I travel with?
Yeah.
Usually it just is some of my best friends or with coach or yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So seeing the familiar faces, like people you've connected with maybe at other shows or online was
Mm-hmm.
okay. So did that allow you to like develop better friendships too, do you feel like?
Yeah, I think so because then you don't have like your friend or anyone there, so you are automatically a little bit more social, I think. So yeah, it was really good because I actually spent the 2 days after the show with the girl Alicia, and we
Aww.
had such a fun time. We went to eat and do some shopping, explore Manila. It was awesome.
Oh, that's amazing. She is so sweet.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, yes. I love that. I feel like every time I talk to people on this podcast, I'm just like, "Oh, I can't wait to meet them one day because they're just so
Yeah.
amazing, you know? Like I just like you're so sweet and I'm like, "Oh, I hope I get to meet you one day too."
I hope to get to meet you too.
So, you've then been able to make friends through the sport obviously, and that experience was really awesome. When you got there and then, you ended up qualifying for the Olympia, when you realized that, like in that moment where you qualified, how did you feel?
um, it's so funny because I can't remember anything. I think I was in shock, like what just happened? Like
Yes.
when they called my name, I just remember that I started crying, obviously happy tears, but I was like, oh my god.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
but after
cool.
after after maybe few days I realized that okay, well, I am actually qualified for the Olympia. Like took a couple of days to realize that.
Yeah. So now that you are finally taking this improvement season, what are you focused on during this period of growth or during this period of progression in order to get to where you want to be when it comes time to step on stage at the Olympia?
My feedback was to build more hamstrings and glutes, so that's my main focus on this improvement season, just to build more muscle and to be able to come in more fuller with that part.
Yeah.
That's one thing, and also you practice posing more. When your body changes, you have to change your posing also, and do the mental work.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, when you go into the gym or when you approach day-to-day life, what's your mindset like when you know that in, I don't even know, a few, like almost, let's say less than a year, you're gonna be on one of the most prestigious stages in bodybuilding?
um it's really hard question actually.
Like day-to-day life, do you notice a difference in the way that you approach what you do?
Yeah, I think it really makes me work even harder to know that I'm going to Olympia. Like the girls up there, they are wow, like the girls that I've been looking up to like so many years. Or yeah, so it will be so amazing to share the stage with the girls.
It's gonna be such a good show.
Yeah, indeed.
So this is exciting for you. And are you also applying for the Arnold? Or did you apply?
Yeah, I actually did a couple of days ago. So that would be really amazing.
Yeah,
If
that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest dreams besides Olympia. Like, it's a really fantastic show.
Have you been before? Like to see it?
No, I've never been.
Yeah, me either. I've only watched live every single year,
Yeah,
but it's
same. And I'm
awesome.
like, whoa.
Right? Me too.
Yeah.
I like
And
watching it.
yeah, same. I remember watching the Bikini International and Olympia like maybe 4 years ago and thinking like, oh man, I really want to be up there one day. And now it's like crazy thinking that, okay, well, Olympia is happening.
Check.
Check, yes.
That's super cool. It must be really rewarding even just to know that.
Yeah, it is. And it's also really good to be qualified at this time of the year because I will have more time to improve for the next year, September.
Yeah, that's true, huh? And if you were to be chosen to go to the Arnold, how do you make sure that it doesn't jeopardize your improvements necessary for the O?
Mm, I think it's just more to do things smart and not like obviously if I get invited for the Arnolds, it's not beneficial for me to gain too much weight at this point. So I'm able to keep my diet short, and also I have more time to build if the diet is not for like 2 months,
Yeah.
So I will think just to play smart and keep the body quite close to be able to do a short prep
Mm-hmm.
if necessary, and but still you have ability to build more muscle.
So when you take this time off and now you know in your head, okay, I'm maybe chosen to go to the Arnold, so gaining too much weight isn't an option because that would jeopardize your success there. And then
Yeah.
after the Arnold being like, okay, now it's back on track for the O, then
Mm-hmm.
it's the same deal because then your time is like, okay, we have to maximize every single moment we have in order
Yeah,
to.
that's true. Mm-hmm.
I think it's awesome to see the girls who do compete at both. Like, even just last year, there were a lot of girls who had been competing so much in order to qualify. And when they stepped on stage, though, they still brought it, but I'm really excited to
Mm-hmm.
see, like, with the different qualification standards now, if it's going to change the way girls look when they step on stage, because maybe they have more time since they've qualified, like you said.
Yeah, that's very true. I think there's gonna be a huge difference.
It's going to be really cool to see. And okay, this is a question I've always been so curious about, but I've never asked anyone because like, I don't know if it's going to push any buttons. But I'm going to ask you because I feel comfortable asking you. um, when you win money for a show, what do you do with that money?
um, I I usually save the money, and then I've been also able to like go for a new show, and yeah, I've also done a little bit of shopping.
Yes. That's awesome. I know. I always look at it. I'm like, okay, so like, let's say it's $1,000, right? Like most of the times that would cover just like your travel and
Mm-hmm.
your stay and well, not as a pro in terms of the registration, but like your tanning, your makeup, like it adds up pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm traveling. It's not like it's really cheap if you are in Europe, but when you have to go more further away, it gets obviously a little bit more expensive. So I would say it's really smart to save the money, and so you will have the chance to go for more shows and whatever you need.
Yeah. And are you in school right now or work? I feel like you're 22, right?
Yeah, I'm 22.
Okay, we're the same age.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that. I always think everyone who's a pro is like way older than me. And I just am always so amazed. Like, yeah, actually, wait, we're the same age. But anyways, you're 22. Are you in school? Are you working? What are you focused on in your life outside of bodybuilding?
I've had a permanent job for like 4 years. I work as a finance specialist.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You're like, and that's why I save my money.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So it's for 4 years. So let me see this. Okay, I know things are different in Europe than the US. So you were 17 when you got that job?
I was 18. Yeah, 18. No,
Okay.
yeah. I didn't start as a finance specialist, but we have really good chances to move forward with inside the company. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. I didn't start at
Oh,
this level, but I've made my way into this.
look at you. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's
So,
also, I see, like, bodybuilding has been a really huge part because um it really makes you to like get better in all aspects in life, to strive, keep getting better, and you know.
mm-hmm. Yeah, like it brings you a new level of discipline or self-awareness and like
Yeah.
you're just so organized and committed to your goals that everything in your life needs to be on point. Otherwise, your bodybuilding will suffer, or your job will suffer, or your relationships will
Mm-hmm.
suffer.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like a lot of people, maybe from the outside looking in, or even girls who are listening who maybe have thought about competing before but haven't, or maybe girls who have done one show, want more of an experience, whatever it might be. Sometimes I think people think, oh, it's such like there's no balance in your life when you do that. But I think it's very much so opposite from that. I feel like, especially when you're on prep and everything's, to a T dialed in, you're like really focused on, like you said, improving
Mm-hmm.
every single day, there's no other option than for that energy to bleed into other areas of your life. And if it's not, then there's some sort of mental block or some sort of um,
Mm-hmm.
maybe like going back to the pressure, or maybe even something that's stopping you from allowing it to get into other areas of your life, where it's like you can actually take the energy you're putting into bodybuilding and see it transform your work, see it transform your relationships
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you're on
Yes.
top of it.
Yes.
Does your family and friends, do they like it when you're on prep or when you're, pursuing your dreams in bodybuilding?
Yeah, they are really supportive. And they are really interested, like, how it is, what does it mean, what do I have to do to get in shape for a competition, and they really admire the hard work.
That's awesome. So what does a normal day look like for you?
My normal day, I usually wake up at 4:30 a.m.
Oh, wow. Good morning.
Yes. Yeah, almost nighttime. So yeah. And then I go to gym, and then I go to work. Then I might go for a lift session. I usually lift 2 times a day.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And depending on if I have to go to lift or not, I might see friends or family. And now it's like when I'm not on a prep, it's like really nice to just after work go to somewhere, have some coffee with a friend or shopping or do something fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
It's like
I
a good
usually start
mental.
my work. Yeah, I usually start my work at 7 a.m. So I go to gym like 5:30 a.m. and then I just shower, get myself fresh, and go to work. And then I work like 8 to 9 hours, and then I'm done.
Wow. So your days are pretty long, and I imagine if you do have days where you're doing 2 lifting sessions, then that is where you kind of have to then not be able to see family and friends as much.
Yeah, because yeah, if I go to lift like 2 times a day, it pretty much means that if I leave at 5 a.m., I will be home maybe 6 or 7 p.m.
Wow. What when do you normally have 2 lifting sessions in a day? Is that like only in prep, or is that in improvement season too?
Usually only in prep because I don't, to be honest, I hate cardio. Yeah. So I prefer lifting weights. So yeah.
So you're like, I'll just lift weights twice and that will burn the calories I would have burned from cardio.
Yeah, I think it's like when you do cardio, you just keep watching your clock and oh, now it's maybe already like 10 minutes has gone, and then you're okay, only 1 minute. You feel like the time is not going any further away.
Yes, I totally agree with that. I'll be like, why the heck is this 2 minutes on here feeling like a freaking hour?
Forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I'll start and I'm like, I'm already done.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, I can understand.
Mm-hmm.
I've grown to like cardio a lot more though, I will say. Like something about it, it just now I look at it like, okay, I'm not really moving much throughout the day, so I might as well, embrace this.
Yeah.
Doesn't change the fact that it seems to take forever though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But okay, if you are like in maybe somewhere on holidays and there's like nice beach and that kind of stuff, it's actually quite fun to go for like morning run or something. But now when it's like winter time in here, it's dark all the time and it's raining or it's cold, and like, okay, no, I have zero motivation to go to do cardio.
But I'll go lift.
Yeah, I'll go lift. And
Do
it's
you,
also like it's really nice to go to like gym that early because there's no one else at that time, so you can do whatever you want.
yeah, that's awesome, especially if you are trying to like push really heavy weights, or if you are trying to like challenge
Mhm.
yourself with something new, or you have to jump from a
Mhm.
machine to another equipment or whatever. It's nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah.
I'm trying to convince everyone at my gym to leave the gym, so it's all mine.
Yeah.
Too busy all the time. You don't want to be at this one. You want to go to the one over there, don't you?
Yeah.
It's not working.
Mhm.
So okay, so you sometimes will lift 2 times in a day, and when you do that, do you end up hitting the same muscle group, or do you change it up?
I might change it up. It's not always the same muscle group. For example, like um if I do like shoulders in the morning, then I might do like chest and triceps in the evening.
Oh. And how long are your workouts usually?
It's maybe 30 minutes
Nice.
or
Okay.
40 minutes. Yeah. Shoulders are usually quite quick. like to do. But if you do like legs, it might take an hour or 45 minutes.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Sometimes with leg days, I'm like, oh my God, I've been here for so long. But it feels so good, especially in the improvement season when you are pushing heavier weight, you're taking longer rest periods. You're like, oh, this is, I don't mind this. I'm not doing like jump squats in between everything.
Yeah. Sometimes you get maybe a little bit too excited because the workout, it feels so good, and then you're like, okay, I've been here like over an hour already, so maybe I have to go
Yes.
home.
Seriously. Oh my gosh, that's too true. I got this. My sister gave me her old Fitbit, and it's like a watch looking one. And now I'll track my workouts, and I'm like, oh my God, I spent a good amount of time here. But it's also been nice because I'm like, oh, you know what? I know like how much time my workout's gonna take me now. So I can plan my day even better. It just gets consistent.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I have been thinking about to get also like the clock where you can see your activity and that kind of stuff. It would be cool just to see.
I know, that's how I felt. I was like, oh, well, it's not like it's a make or break situation as an athlete, but it's something that I was like, I'd be curious to see like if there's a new way I could motivate myself, whether that's just by increasing my daily activity or if that's by like, oh, yesterday when I did the treadmill, I burned this many calories. Let's see if I can hit it this much, or let's see if I can change my pace to be at this level, or, certain things like that just get like, it's just a new way of being like, let's push it, motivate yourself. But also, like, let's say no one needs a device to do that, like we don't need it on our watch or on our wrist to tell us like we need to push harder. So, but I'm actually really happy with it. I would say if you're thinking about getting it, it's a good idea.
Just to get a little bit more information, like, be cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. Like, I'm like, I didn't know that I was burning this much, or I was going this far. Like the treadmill, maybe we'll say X amount of miles.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but did I really run 3? And I'm like, okay, now I have this watch that is like tracking my steps, so that's like 0.25 difference or whatever it might be. I'm like, oh, okay, nope.
But it's definitely useful if you have to hit a certain amount of steps or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I can't imagine. Well, not luckily. I don't know. I don't say this as like it's a bad thing or a good thing. My coach doesn't give me a step count to hit per day, and I know some girls do have like prescribed step counts. Like, okay, you're doing 15 minutes of cardio, but you got to get 20,000 steps in today. I've never been told to do anything like that before.
And now you do that?
I'm sorry, what did you say? You cut out a little bit.
Are you tracking? You are tracking now your steps?
Oh no, not now. But
no, yeah.
Now it's just cool to see it. But I know some girls like that's actually part of their program.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know.
It's different.
It is different for sure. Like it's because
it will be like it depends. Like maybe if you are active like during the day, but if you have like maybe a job where you are sitting like 8 hours, it will be hard to get the steps in.
Definitely, right? And so anytime I see that, I'm always curious about people's experience with that kind of a program setup, because I know there are some coaches who are like steady state is the way to go, and I know there's some coaches who are like HIIT is the only way, and I'm like, but if you have a schedule that maybe doesn't allow for you to do an hour and a half of walking every day on top of your lifts, like,
oh yeah,
I think about that a lot. I wonder if there's anybody who does that. If anyone listening follows a plan like that, reach out and tell us what it's like. Post a picture on your story that you're listening to the podcast, and then write a little caption about what it's like to follow a plan that requires you to hit a certain amount of steps. I think we'd both love to see that. That'd be
Definitely.
awesome. Okay, good. And of course, talk about how amazing this episode is and how much you love Noora. And don't forget all of that too. So, okay, I wanted to ask you too about your experience with shooting with Jay and Mannion, and that was in
Mhm.
Miami. So, what was that experience like for you? And like, did they fly you out? Did you stay a long time? Did you like meeting the other girls? What was it like altogether?
Oh, well, I was really honored to get invited for the Miami Beach photo shoot. So I flew there and then we stayed together at the same hotel with the girls,
Oh,
and then we had photo shoots. It was 2 day shoots, and then after I was done for mine, I flew out to Arizona to see my coach and the team. And the next weekend, I competed in Golden State. But the experience in Miami, it was, oh wow, it was amazing. Like JM and all the group, like Frank and Deborah and all the girls, like it was, I really missed that time. We had
oh.
such an amazing time there.
Yeah, those girls are amazing.
Yeah, they are. It's so like um it's great to see that there are so many girls in this industry, that they are like so like-minded with you, and they think the same way, they share the same passion, and you become friends, and it's amazing.
Yeah, that's a really good way of looking at it. Like this sport is not just an opportunity to expand yourself, but like you're expanding
Yeah,
your like
exactly.
your circle, you're learning from other girls. Like that's why I started this podcast. I'm like, success leaves clues. These are girls who I love to talk to, who get it, and like it's just
Mm-hmm.
fun, and it's allowed me to like make friends not just with the guests but also with the girls who listen, like we talk
Yeah,
now, we connect. Like this sport connects us because of that. I just love it.
exactly. Yeah, girls really support each other, and yeah, it's amazing to get to share like your thoughts with other people who you get to know, and just to
Yeah,
see. Yeah.
they get it. Maybe like you, I know some of my friends, like they follow a different approach, or they'll ask like, what are you doing for legs today? And like I maybe will send them a screenshot of my plan, and then they'll be like, oh my gosh, and they'll ask me questions about it, or like vice
Mhm.
versa, or like we'll send each other posing and be like, how does this look versus this? And it's just nice to have
Mhm.
that kind of support.
Yeah, indeed.
So, I'd love for you now to share your best advice for girls who have never competed before, who are thinking about competing, and then your best advice for girls who are going after their pro card.
Um, Maybe for the girls who are competing for the first time, I would say um enjoy the experience, and it's a very little time that you are on stage, so try, so just take everything out of it and really enjoy the experience, because that's the moment you've been working so hard for. And for the girls who are competing for their pro card, I would say um, if you are not getting it in your first show, I'm pretty sure you will get it some other from some other show. Just keep going and you will get it. If you can dream it, you can do it.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And I want everyone to be able to connect with you and, like I said earlier, tag you and express gratitude and really, maybe even reach out with follow-up questions. So where can they do that?
hmm So you can find me on my Instagram. which was do I spell it?
You can. I'm gonna put it in the show notes page too.
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram if you like.
Perfect. Yeah, so I'm going to make sure that that link is in the show notes page. So if you guys are looking for her, don't worry, it's there. I also know that if you go to my page and go to followers or go to like following and type in Noora, you're going to see her there anyways. So with all that being said, I did want to give a quick reminder. My event, because we are recording this, by the way, you guys, is like November 20th. It is November 23rd. But this is going to come out December 20th. So I have to think ahead, and I wanted to remind you guys that my event in January, the Build More Than Just a Body live event, it is the second of its kind, and I'm so excited about it. The first one was freaking amazing. If you haven't heard the recap episode, go listen. But anyways, I don't want you to miss it. Seats by now, when I'm recording this, already 7 sold, 3 in the queue. So make sure you go and reserve your seat. Hopefully by the time this episode is live, there's still seats available. But I did want to throw out that reminder just in case. We're going to be covering all things Build More Than Just a Body, meaning we're going to be helping you to make peace with food, your body, and your goals, diving into topics like self-love, mindset work, identity, daily ritual creation, all sorts of things that are going to help you to really step into the best athlete you can become, the person and the version of yourself that is a champion, that is someone who feels amazing about themselves regardless of what season they're in, and who can carry that mental strength and stamina with them long term so they have that longevity in the sport while feeling good about their experiences. So thank you guys for listening to that. Noora, thank you for listening to that too, and for coming onto the show and sharing so much value with us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Of course. So I hope that you